Fettercairn Jewel is a very, very special object indeed. Very little survives from the Scottish Renaissance, so it's an important piece of material evidence that Scotland did participate in the Renaissance. I just love the beauty of it, the execution, the enamelled panel is just stunning. The mystery of it is quite incredible. You know, it's been an important object in this family, yet we know so little about it.
The jewel is a small gold locket. It opens, and inside it probably would have contained a portrait. On the front, there's a large garnet with cloisonné enamel around it. The image on the reverse of the jewel has in the centre the god Mercury holding his herald's wand and dressed in armour. Around him are a series of objects, all of which have their own specific meanings. Above him, there are two birds in the sky which are green and almost certainly meant to be parrots. There could be some meaning to do with love, there could be some meaning to do with somebody who's died and whose soul is being conveyed to the underworld. The jewel was probably made in the second half of the 16th century. In this period, jewels were a very important part of courtly dress. Jewels of this sort, with images and portraits in them, were often exchanged between individuals, either as signs of affection, but also for political reasons. One of the key questions about the jewel is, where did it come from? It emerged in a Scottish collection this year, and we're very keen to establish whether it could have been made or owned in Scotland. We've been looking at related objects from the late 16th century to try and provide a context for the Fettercairn Jewel. The principal one is known as the Darnley Jewel, and it's in the Royal Collection, and it has two sides which are engraved in the same enamel technique as our jewel.
As a conservator, the most important thing for me was that we uncovered actually stable enamels underneath the dirt. One of the challenges cleaning an object this small is that conservation work is all undertaken under a microscope. We removed a layer of dirt. We basically see better the translucency and light effect of the enamels. So one of the most interesting things that we discovered was inside the jewel. Because of the damage at one side of the frame, there was some evidence that the image that was inside was intentionally taken out.
One of the biggest aspects of the research has been going through the Forbes family papers in the National Library of Scotland. We've recruited a team of 7 volunteers and allocated each of them part of the archive. The archive includes nearly 300 boxes of papers, which range from letters, literary papers, and bills and accounts from the estate, also genealogical material.
Whenever we come across a bill from a jeweller, it's looking at the date, it's looking at the name of the jeweller, and seeing if that might become a lead in the search for the jewel. Seeing the jewel for the first time was amazing because it's so much smaller, but somehow so much more detailed than it can ever be on paper.
You certainly appreciate the work on it more in real life. So even the fact that you can see the two different types of enamel work, the minute detail is just incredible when you see it in the flesh.
It was unknown. It was a real surprise when it turned up, and when we were aware of this sale, National Museum of Scotland were very keen to acquire this jewel. The jewel is now on display in our Kingdom of the Scots gallery, and it's displayed in the context of Scotland's Renaissance. It's displayed very close to our objects which look at the life and times of Mary Queen of Scots, and of course there are some beautiful Renaissance jewels there too. It's an important object, but it's a very mysterious object, and thus far it has not yielded its secrets. Hopefully we can throw some light on Scotland's role in the Renaissance and actually look at the richness of the Scottish experience in Renaissance Europe.